Right now at 5, we'll see how some Joplin homeowners can apply for assistance to pay for home repairs.
And temperatures are going to begin to warm up, even though it's a bit cool now. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, a Pittsburgh jewelry store warns of a common scam in the area regarding fake gold jewelry.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now finally Friday here in the 4 states.
Yes.
August the 23rd.
Yes, here we are.
2025 is only 4 months away.
That's a scary thought. It feels like that shouldn't be happening, but
no,
I guess
it certainly doesn't. Yeah, it's right around the corner, guys, believe it or not. Here we are, coming up on it, and that means it'll be about 5 years since the whole COVID situation evolved, too. And that doesn't feel like it's been that long ago, but...
Wow.
But the good news is it has been that long ago, and we're moving forward, and our temperatures are moving on up. Not like the Jeffersons, though. The temperatures are not taking us to a deluxe apartment in the sky. The temperatures are taking us to uncomfortable mugginess. That's what they're going to do for us. And this is a live look from our camera downtown Joplin on the Cornell Complex. Looks pretty good. Same from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. And we'll head a little further south to 20th and Rangeline. Also looking pretty good this morning. So not a bad start to the day. You still have those below normal temperatures, but that is going to change. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies for the first half of our day, and then we'll have that mix of sun and clouds, partly to mostly cloudy skies as we end the afternoon. Still a southeast breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, but take a look by 4. Our average high is 90. Most of us are looking to be at or even slightly above 90 for those highs today, so we are starting the warm up. Now, thankfully today, the temperatures don't take off, but they will as we head into the weekend. Sitting at 63 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh, and as I've mentioned, the average low is about 69. Take a look at Iola, sitting at 58 degrees. Take it in. If you could capture this air in a bottle and store it in your house, it'd be a great opportunity to do so. The rest of us, though, still low mid-60s to start our day. Kids getting on the bus, a little bit on the cool side again, 62, mostly cloudy skies. And we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon, and 91 when that bus brings them back home. Our highs today, again, into the low 90s for most of us. And again, that mix. So some of you may have mostly cloudy skies a little longer than your others. Some of you may even clear out briefly, but otherwise partly to mostly cloudy skies. As I mentioned, the temperatures are going to continue to heat heading into the weekend. We've also got at least a few isolated storm chances. We'll break down those details in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the Neosho School District is mourning after learning the woman killed in a Newton County crash Wednesday was a longtime staff member. Authorities have identified the victim as Autumn Qualls, a librarian for the Neosho School District. Qualls was stopped for a school bus when a pickup struck the rear of Qualls' car. Qualls had worked in the school district for almost 20 years, including as a librarian for Neosho Middle School. A news release from the district expressed condolences to family and friends and says additional support from the district's counseling team will be available at Neosho Middle School. The search warrant issued in Carl Junction results in a substantial drug bust. Authorities served the warrant to a home on Roney Street. The search warrant resulted in the seizure of a large amount of fentanyl and methamphetamines. Detectives arrested 2 women, Leilani DeStefano and Sabrina Daughtry, and 1 man, Marvin Ward, from the location. All 3 were arrested on multiple warrants. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The city of Joplin is continuing their community revitalization efforts by relaunching the Joplin Homeowner Rehabilitation Program. The Joplin Homeowner Rehabilitation Program will help homeowners with repairs up to $25,000. The money can go toward repairs for their roof, HVAC, and more. Applications will be considered based on home location and home evaluation.
The funds are going to be first come, first serve. So if you have a need, it's best to get your application in so that they can start working on assessing your home and doing inspections.
The goal of the program is to increase property value and reduce code enforcement problems in Joplin. Well, the price of gold has hit an all-time record high this week, making the precious metal more valuable than ever. But a Pittsburgh jewelry store hopes to warn customers about a scam involving fake gold that is growing in popularity. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on what this scam looks like.
I kind of thought it would be a hit and miss type of thing and move on, but it's been fairly consistent.
Chad Como, owner of Como Jewelry, frequently helps appraise customer jewelry at his Pittsburgh store. But recently he's had dozens of customers come in with gold jewelry that's not what it seems.
Unfortunately, we spot it as it walks through the door, because typically people have it in their hand, and the closer they get, the more we realize exactly what it is that they're bringing in. What they thought to be gold, to find out that it's actually gold-plated, inexpensive product from Asia.
He says customers have come in with the exact same story. They're approached in a parking lot at a truck stop or a store by someone in a vehicle with out-of-state plates. They're told an emotional story about why this person needs money, and the scam victims are asked to help by giving money in exchange for what they are told is real gold jewelry.
The price of gold may play a role in that. It may not play a role in that. It could just simply be that because the success that they're having with people with a big heart here in the 4 states, they're preying on that. Be aware that this kind of thing is going on.
While these sorts of scammers can often be hard to track, the Pittsburgh Police Department encourages anyone who has experienced this to speak with them.
Tell them you engage in a financial transaction and you think somebody's trying to take advantage of the situation. They're trying to sell fraudulent property. And again, it may not be a crime, but at the very least we'll have officers respond and potentially identify who the actors involved and get some additional information on what's going on.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Pittsburgh Police Department recommends purchasing high-value items such as gold from reputable sources that you trust to avoid potential scams. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. High school football season continues to get closer and closer. We'll see how some local teams are preparing. Plus, lockdown Canada Railway workers turn out to support negotiators as the major freight has come to a stop. And we have a hot and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
High school football season continues to get closer and closer. Missouri teams play their jamborees tonight. Schools are approaching the end of their first week of practice in Kansas, which is where our 2024 season previews take us. Riverton High School football closes in on the end of its first week of practice. The Rams advanced to the second round of the 2A playoffs a year ago before getting knocked out by Humboldt. Riverton graduated 12 seniors from that team, so this year's Rams will be younger, but their strength is the offensive line.
We have a lot of good skill kids that got to, some of them played a little bit last year's freshmen. We've always said at a school our size, if you've got a good senior class of linemen, you can get by with some really good sophomores at skill positions. So we're going to throw a lot of sophomores on the field who are very athletic. So we're going to be similar to what we were last year. The only difference is we're not going to have as much depth if some of those guys need a breather. But as far as putting good guys on the field, we feel real comfortable with those guys going in and playing real good football.
The whole goal is honestly just to make as far as we can in the playoffs. And last year, losing by 10 points is rough, but we're going to bounce back this year and do better.
Over to the NFL, the 2024 preseason comes to a close over the next few days. The Chiefs host the Bears for their preseason finale yesterday evening at Arrowhead Stadium, a game where both teams stated in the days prior that they won't play their starters. The Chiefs dropped their final preseason game to the Bears 34-21. Their record in the preseason is 0-3. One of the bright spots from this contest was undrafted rookie running back Carson Steele. He had 4 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. He's one of the many players fighting to make the 53-man roster. Over to Major League Baseball, the Cardinals had lost 7 of their last 8 games before Wednesday night when they entered the 9th inning trailing by 2 that forced extra innings, and Nolan Arenado hit a walk-off grand slam in the 10th. Rubber match between the Cardinals and Brewers. Miles McCullough dealing. First, he punches Garrett Mitchell out looking. In the second, he gets Gary Sanchez swinging. McCullough had 6 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. 4th inning, still no score. Lars Nootbaar hits a deep fly ball. Garrett Mitchell leaps and makes the catch. He takes a home run away from Nootbaar to keep it scoreless. 7th inning, bases loaded for the Cardinals. First run of the game comes on a bases loaded walk from Wilson Contreras. 2 batters later, Nolan Arenado hits the Bryce Wilson pitch in the gap. Alec Burleson scores. Cardinals get 3 runs in the 8th, and they win 3-0. Still to come, new research suggests the Mediterranean diet may reduce your risk of getting COVID. Plus, we'll have another check of that forecast and those hot temperatures when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up now on 5:16 on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. We have made it. Just a few more hours. It'll be the weekend across the area. But we got to get through today, starting with the MoDOT camera. 20th and Rangeline in Joplin looking pretty good this morning. Heading over to Kansas, the KDOT camera, 69 in Kansas Crossing. Also looking pretty good as well as we get this Friday underway. We are looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head into the afternoon, but we're all expected to be mostly cloudy to start the day. And we're also going to be warmer. Average high is 90. Most of us will be at or just slightly above that average high as we proceed through the day. Then we go into Saturday, and we could have an opportunity for an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the morning, and then maybe a pop-up shower storm into the afternoon hours on our Saturday. We're also going to be hotter on our Saturday as well. Then we head into Sunday, and we'll have another opportunity for an isolated pop-up shower storm, but you can see overall those chances are still going to be relatively low, and with pop-up storms, the majority of us will remain dry. And we'll head into Monday, and we're going to have that same opportunity, but we're also going to be staying pretty darned hot. 63 in Joplin right now, so nowhere near hot. East-southeast breeze at 6, and temperatures across the area looking fairly good so far. Iola still the cool spot at 58 degrees this morning. The rest of us low to mid-60s, so that's the weird thing. That's the strange and interesting thing, I suppose, about weather is even though we are starting well below normal today, we're going to actually end up going above normal this afternoon. So again, mostly cloudy skies, a cool start, warm by the morning, late morning hours though, low 80s by 11 o'clock. Again, it's ahead of highs today. Going into the low, possibly mid-90s for some of us out there, and we'll have that mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head through the afternoon hours. We are expected to hold on to partly cloudy skies as we head through the evening hours as well. And then, remember our average low of 69? We've been below that. That is not going to be the case as we head into tonight, falling back into the low to mid 70s and still near 80 by 10 o'clock tonight. So that's a sign as the warmth that we are looking at as we go through the next several days. It's going to continue to stay hot. We're going to go through pop-up storms again through Monday, mid, maybe even some upper 90s out there. So that's going to put our heat index values at or maybe even a little above 100 degrees. Then we've still got that system coming in toward the end of next week that's going to give us some additional isolated shower and thunderstorm chances, and hopefully at some point start to bring those temperatures back down. But again, if you've got weekend plans or schools with outdoor activities or recess next week, I know I've said it, just drilling the point home for you folks. We got to keep an eye on those heat index values. We've had a nice little break, but it's going to start to get pretty uncomfortable over the next several days. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Recalled popsicles could be missing an allergy warning for an unlisted ingredient. Unilever is recalling about 137,000 Jolly Rancher popsicles for potentially containing milk, even though it's not declared on the packaging. The FDA says 2 allergic reaction cases linked to the product have been reported. The agency says the popsicles are usually sold by ice cream trucks and concession stands. The recall is only for individually sold popsicles and does not affect multi-pack products sold at grocery stores. The recalled popsicles were distributed from February 1st, 2024 to August 15th. The FDA has approved new COVID-19 vaccines for Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna. Both drug makers say their updated shots will be available in clinics and pharmacies within the next few days. The approval comes as the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says there's been a summer wave of the virus, although infection rates are below the levels seen over the past few years. Now, CDC officials advise everyone over 6 months old to get both the updated COVID-19 vaccine and a flu shot before the end of the year. The CDC says the latest strain of COVID-19 is called KP.3.1.1. It accounts for nearly 40% of the U.S. cases over the last 2 weeks. New research suggests following the Mediterranean diet may reduce your risk of getting COVID-19. The research was conducted by a team in Indonesia. The team reviewed 6 studies across 5 countries in which participants adhere to the Mediterranean diet. Inflammation has been associated with both the development and severity of COVID-19. And the senior author of the review noted the Mediterranean diet has long been known for its anti-inflammatory properties. However, since the research was observational, it cannot prove if the diet does protect against the virus. The review was published Wednesday in the journal PLOS ONE. Well, social media is all around us, and when it comes to young people, that can be good or bad. A 2022 survey conducted by the Pew Research Center found 95% of teens ages 13 to 17 used YouTube, and more than a third said they were on YouTube and other social media platforms like TikTok almost constantly. Mandy Gaither has more on why teens are so drawn to these apps and what parents can do to keep them safe.
It can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, social media can connect teens with similar interests and help them establish their identities. But there's also a downside.
Keep in mind, teenagers really have not known a world without social media. For many of them, it is their entire world.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says teen brains are still developing, including that area responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and judgment.
That means teens are more primed to be easily gratified, to be on social media more often.
Since social media is designed to suck everyone in, adults included, and keep you there, stopping the scroll can be hard.
The algorithms are designed to feed the content that grabs your interest. The hearts and the likes then keep you engaged, and you're constantly looking for more.
To keep teens safe, the U.S. Surgeon General advises parents to create a family media plan with healthy technology boundaries. Keep tech-free zones to encourage children to foster in-person friendships, model responsible social media behavior, teach responsibility by explaining risks and benefits of using different apps, and explain reporting options when it comes to cyberbullying, online abuse, and exploitation.
Living without social media doesn't seem plausible nowadays, but living with it in a healthy way seems to be something we can all aim to do.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the concern about social media overuse by teens even prompted U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy to demand Congress put a warning label on apps, citing the threat social media poses to children. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we're going to start heating up today. It may not feel like it just yet, but we will get there as temperatures expected to go into the low 90s across the area ahead of a bigger warm up into the weekend and next week. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, the public attends the estate sale of a Carthage founding family.
And even though we've got a pretty cool start today, temperatures heating up by this afternoon. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, storm damaged Quapaw announces a delayed start date for the school year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner, and it is now finally Friday. It is August the 23rd here in the 4 states. Some kids, this is your second full week of school. Hopefully doing all right so far. And for, some parents in the O'Fallon, Missouri area.
Okay.
I love social media because sometimes it provides you a good
of course.
Frontier Middle School in O'Fallon has a new school resource officer.
Okay.
Apparently, all of the women within a 500-mile radius find him attractive. The comments on their post are absolutely insane. So if you're looking for something to give you a good chuckle this morning, head over to the O'Fallon, Missouri Police Department page and look for their new SRO at Frontier Middle School because it will certainly brighten your day. It's pretty darn funny. So hopefully that will brighten your Friday, get you off to a good start into the weekend. And if not, I'll try and brighten the day a little bit with some weather information. I just wish I had better news or a slightly more attractive forecast. Unfortunately, I don't control the weather. I just tell you what it's going to do. All right, quick look outside. Our camera 7th and Range Line in Joplin looking pretty good. Same from MoDOT camera down in 20th and Range Line. We're dry this morning, and we are relatively cool, but it will not last. Take a look at the future track. Mostly cloudy skies first half of our day, and then a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Unfortunately, our highs today are going to be at or just a wee bit above what our normal highs should be for this time of year. However, doesn't feel that way right now. Look at that, 63 Joplin, 62 in Pittsburgh, and then my favorite, if it's still there, 59 now in Iola. You're warming up just a bit, but still 59 degrees in Iola. The rest of us low to mid 60s as we start our day. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Again, mostly cloudy skies to start. Low 60s, southeast breeze 5 to 10. I'll hold on to those winds as we head into the afternoon. About 91 though when the bus brings them home, and still that mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies. We'll have that continue as we go. Excuse me. What was that? I guess the thought of middle school now I've reversed in age. I don't know. So we'll continue, though, with the partly to mostly cloudy skies heading into the afternoon. And again, a little warmer today, low 90s. And then we've got the big heat up as we head into the weekend. And we're talking back to the upper 90s and even heat index values at or slightly above 100 degrees. Something we're going to have to keep an eye on. We'll break down those details, though, for you in the full forecast. And that's coming up here, hopefully, in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Why don't you get yourself some water? Well, Quapaw Public Schools announced a date for the start of the school year. The Oklahoma community suffered storm damage over the weekend, including to the roof of its elementary school. Cleanup and construction crews have been working this week to get facilities opened safely. The city says its plan should have the school season ready to go on September 3rd for all grades. Well, a group of students got to trade in the classroom for the campgrounds yesterday. 6th graders from the Arma School District took a field trip to a 5-mile camp in Quapaw, Oklahoma. Kids got to ride horses, do craft projects, and even take in a zip line.
Yeah, it was like a big drop. It was a lot of G-forces, that's for sure.
We got scared. Like when you first jumped off,
yeah.
It's scary, but face your fears.
Yeah.
It's the experience, getting to come here. Not everybody has horses that they can ride or get to go zip line every day or some of the things that they get to do. So just being able to hold on to those memories that they get to have, especially bringing it into a smaller group and doing it with their friends.
Organizers said the field trip provided a cool way to kick off the school year. Well, pieces of Carthage, Missouri's history were on a sale this week. The descendants of some of the founding members of the city held an estate sale at Carthage's Memorial Hall. The items belong to the Phelps family, which founded the historic Phelps Country House. The family's current generation says it's time to move on from some of their possessions.
We're on about every church committee, city committee, school board. My mom was on school board, I think, when I was in 3rd grade till well after I was married. Education is very extremely important to them, as well as boards. They were both Board of Regents at Missouri Southern.
The sale continues today from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The 81st annual Lamar Free Fair is underway this week. Visitors are able to enjoy a variety of events, including livestock shows, arts and crafts, parades, concerts, and more. For first-time exhibitors, it's a new opportunity to show off their skills and hard work.
I became involved in the fair 10, 11, 12 years ago. I'm 16 years old, so I've been at it for a while. We just got involved. Both my parents were ag teachers, so that I'm just kind of born into it, and we started showing pigs, and we've gotten better every year.
Clay Walker and Tate Stevens will perform at Wyatter Park in downtown Lamar on the last night of the fair this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Thousands of Indonesians attempt to storm parliament over new election procedures. Plus, the Ukrainian president made his first visit to the border since his forces entered Russian territory. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. A Japanese woman takes the cake as the world's oldest person. Guinness World Records confirmed 116-year-old Tomiko Ituka is the world's oldest person after it verified her birth date of May 23, 1908. Ituka learned of the news at her nursing home, to which she replied, "Thank you." Guinness says Ituka played volleyball in high school and has 4 children. Aside from being the world's oldest person, Ituka has climbed the 10,000-plus foot Mount Ontake twice and continued hiking after she turned 100. Negotiations between Canada's 2 main railroads and railway workers are ongoing as rail traffic for major freight has come to a stop. Railway companies Canadian National and Canadian Pacific Kansas City locking their workers out yesterday. The groups are discussing new agreements to the workers' contracts, but an agreement on pay and working conditions has yet to be met. Now, workers are supporting the Teamsters Rail Union gathering in protest. Canadian government officials are meeting to discuss the emergency, and the stop to all rail traffic could trigger nationwide economic harm to Canada and the U.S. But governmental officials also say they're leaving it up to the groups to finalize a deal, choosing not to use their legal authority. Thousands of protesters in Indonesia trying to storm the country's parliament. Police firing tear gas and water cannon at demonstrators as they grew out of control. There are growing concerns among protesters about democracy and a possible constitutional crisis within the country. Yesterday, Indonesia's parliament met for an emergency session to overturn election procedures that would prevent people under 30 years old from running for regional governor. But the move is being met with condemnation by critics concerned that democracy within the country is failing. Well, Ukraine's Air Force says it used a U.S.-made bomb to strike a Russian military target in the Kursk region. President Biden has claimed the U.S. has steadfast support for Ukraine and has the receipts to prove it. Since 2022, aid packages have come in at a grand total of approximately $175 billion in support of their efforts. But now that the tides are turning and Ukraine is on the offensive, the Biden administration is staying uncharacteristically quiet. Lucas Tomlinson reports from the Pentagon.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky makes his first visit to the border since his forces entered Russian territory more than 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has downplayed the attacks, held a meeting with local governors about the incursion.
The enemy was trying to hit the nuclear power plant overnight.
Ukraine's push into Russia comes as both sides are using drones to attack far behind enemy lines. New satellite imagery shows a Russian oil depot burning for the 5th consecutive day after being hit by Ukrainian drone strike. Russian officials in the Kursk region are quickly building up their defenses. These new concrete shelters are being rapidly installed to help protect civilians.
We plan to install 60 shelters near public places to keep people safe from shrapnel.
This advance into Russian territory is the first time Ukrainian forces have engaged in combat beyond their own borders since Russia first invaded Ukraine in 2014. Zelensky says it's all part of a systematic effort to end the war on Ukraine's terms. But the Pentagon has admitted they were not given a heads up about this recent operation.
Ukraine should really speak to their objectives and goals, and that's still something that we're trying to learn from them on how this fits in to their strategic operations.
Zelensky says his forces do not plan on permanently occupying these new villages inside Russia. He just wants to create a buffer zone to prevent further attacks.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:43 now on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. We're starting with a live look from MoDOT Camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin, looking pretty good down there. So we'll cross over to state lines and to Kansas. KDOT Camera at 69 in Kansas Crossing. Also looking pretty good this morning. We do have some thunderstorms again to the west of Wichita, but these at least are showing up on the computer data, and they are expected to die before they get here, but it's going to be that same wave of energy. It could ultimately trigger a few storms early tomorrow morning for us. Nothing strong or severe expected, but some much needed rain for sure. We're going to be mostly cloudy through the morning, and then we'll go with partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. And of course, today starts the first day of our warm up. Now, thankfully today, temperatures aren't soaring, but they are going to be a lot warmer than where we have been here lately. And that also means we're going to have a much warmer overnight. We'll have south winds tomorrow, occasionally gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. We'll have some of those opportunities for a few stray showers and storms in the morning, and then maybe an afternoon pop-up shower or storm. Then we'll start to clear out by late Saturday evening into the overnight hours. And as we go into Sunday, it's going to be one of those things where it's a hit and miss situation with the isolated shower storm chances. The majority of us, though, are expected to remain dry. And then that will carry over into our Monday as well. And the heat will continue to carry over also. 63 in Joplin right now, east-southeast breeze at 6 miles an hour. And we're expecting about a 30-degree warm-up from where we are now. Iola was the cool spot in the 50s, but they've come up into the low 60s, joining the rest of us in the low to mid 60s as we start our day. So even though we are starting below normal today, temperatures are going to climb pretty quickly through the morning and into the afternoon. And like I said, it's going to start to get a little uncomfortable out there. Mostly cloudy skies again through the morning, still cool by 8, mid 60s out there, and then we'll quickly warm up into the low 80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, we'll have that mix of sun and clouds, so partly mostly cloudy skies, and some of you may even for times be mostly clear before a few more clouds roll in. Highs today just a little above normal as we go into the low 90s, so not excessively hot, but again, compared to what we've experienced the last few days, you're definitely going to feel that heat. Unfortunately, again, that also means our overnights are going to start to warm up for a bit as well. We're expecting partly cloudy skies through the evening, close to 80 by 10, and in the low to mid 70s, so definitely above normal by 5-6 degrees out there as we go into the overnight hours. And again, unfortunately, the above normal conditions will continue as we head through the weekend and into next week. So just be aware of not just the temperatures, but we're looking at that possibility of those heat index values climbing to 100, maybe 105 some days out there through the weekend and into the next work week. Some morning storms on Saturday, then maybe an isolated shower storm in the afternoon. Pop-up storm chances through Monday. Temperatures remain mid-upper 90s through the end of next week, or at least through next Thursday. Low to mid-90s heading into the weekend. And another system will begin to bring us a few thunderstorm chances as we head through Thursday through next Sunday, and hopefully bring our temperatures back down at least a little closer to normal by the end of next weekend. That's a check of your forecast. We are back with more right after this.
Businesses in Yukon, Oklahoma are partnering with local companies to make sure pets don't go hungry. Dakota Wakapechi has more.
My dogs are my best friends. They're like kids.
Adam Shriver, a Yukon City Council member and dog owner himself, says he's seen the ups and downs of adulthood. Being laid off by a job years ago, worrying him about not only the food on his family's plates, but even his dog's bowls.
And we often forget about our furry friends here, so we want to be part of the option of helping.
But he and another local business don't want that for you. They want to help you with the necessities for your pets.
It just means a lot for us to be able to give back in another way that, no one else is really doing right now.
They've built a pet pantry. Inside are important items like
It's cat food, and we also have a couple new leashes and collars as well. Here's Purina dog chow.
Yukon residents can take a bill, mail, or ID with a Yukon address to Paws Pampered Pups and ask to use the pantry. The pet pantry, they say, is community-driven, with donations coming from several local families and businesses. The ultimate goal for them with this is to not let puppies or kitties go hungry.
The town's been real fortunate to me in my past, and this is just a blessing to be able to give back.
A golfer has been visiting golf courses around the United States for years in an effort to spread autism awareness. Jacob Wyckoff has the story.
What a shot.
Oh, I'm way up there.
All right.
Meet Charlie Bristol.
Yeah. Is this you up here?
So I got my trusty dusty rangefinder and I can...
Charlie and his father Bill are in town visiting from Minnesota, hitting up 4 area golf courses.
Great shot, Charlie. Great shot.
In his 14th season, Charlie is now wrapping up his 2024 golf tour, visiting 85 different courses and not only having fun, but also spreading autism awareness through his popular Instagram handle, Charlie's Golfing Club.
So what are you seeing?
kind of a left to right breaking putt on this.
Okay. Get in.
Over the years, Charlie's golfing prowess helped raise nearly $62,000 for autism charities.
Dude, that's a drive anyone would love. So when you see him hit it dead straight, right into the middle of the fairway.
That's wonderful. We get excited about that.
But it's not just about the game. It's about the life lessons learned on the fairways and greens that have shaped Charlie into the person he is today.
I think back to when Charlie wouldn't look you in the eye, wouldn't shake your hand, he wouldn't talk to you. And I think back to those days and think that just because of one thing, golf, and how good Charlie has gotten at it, that it makes me proud.
I'm able to talk to people, I'm able to make conversations, I'm able to, enjoy life the way I would think.
We caught up with Charlie at Shining Rock Golf Club in Northbridge, home of the Rockstar Invitational, a 4-hole golf tournament for kids with special needs. Head golf pro Mike Stacy.
Head bartender Dave and I got together and we came up with this idea to run a pro-am for special needs kids. So we've done it the last 2 years and it's such a hit.
Mike also hosts a weekly clinic for children with diverse abilities.
It fills my heart. We've been doing this for 3 years. The kids have gotten so good. Some of the kids are so good. It's incredible.
Even Charlie was able to get an impromptu session with Mike, going over putting.
Do you like to diet in or do you like to hammer it?
Kind of diet into the hole.
Diet into the hole?
Yeah.
I like that.
As for any future goals, Charlie takes life one swing at a time, and one day hopes to turn competitive.
Maybe be in the U.S. Adaptive Open. That's my goal. I have that one goal and I'm going to shoot for that.
You can follow Charlie on his popular Instagram handle, Charlie's Golfing Club. Stick around, we'll be right back. Well, Krispy Kreme is turning a beloved soda into a donut flavor. The donut chain is introducing a new Dr. Pepper Kickoff collection starting today. The donut features the classic glazed with Dr. Pepper flavored frosting. The lineup includes a buttercream Gold's donut and a white cream-filled football donut with chocolate icing. The new flavor comes just in time for the return of the NFL and college football season. To celebrate, Krispy Kreme is offering $0 delivery on all orders via its app and online from today to Sunday. Well, today is the day to celebrate a classic sandwich that was born in Cuba but grew up in Florida. August 22nd is National Cuban Sandwich Day, and it's a toasted pressed sandwich featuring roasted pork, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, and yellow mustard. As the name suggests, this toasted pressed sandwich came from Cuba, but was fully developed in South Florida as Cuban immigrants introduced it to the U.S. The national observance was started by a food writer for the Tampa Bay Times in 2016. If you've never had a Cuban sandwich, today is the perfect time to try one.
I might try one that looks pretty good, because that video looked like it was from 1995. It looked pretty old, but it does not compare to the Dr. Pepper Krispy Kreme donuts.
No.
Those look phenomenal. Do they not?
They look amazing. I love Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay,
so
well, you
I'm
look
here
less
for
than
it.
intrigued by the doctor, so I was just curious. Okay. Well, either way, it's a great way to celebrate a pretty decent day and a good reason to stay inside as well, especially since you can get $0 delivery on some of those donuts, because it's going to start to get hot. We're going to have mostly cloudy skies through the morning, a cool start to the day, but we're warming up quickly, low 80s by 11 o'clock. As we head into the afternoon, our highs a little above normal, low 90s across the region, and we'll have a mix of clouds and sun, partly to mostly cloudy skies. And we'll stay partly cloudy through the evening and much warmer tonight as well. Upper 70s by 10, low to mid 70s for those overnight lows. As we head into the weekend and next week, we're going mid-upper 90s. Got those rain chances Saturday through Monday, and then more rain chances toward the end of next week, although they are isolated. And we could see heat index values from 100, maybe even as high as 105. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.